Morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. My name is Alexis Villanueva, and I'm the Academy Administrator for the International Coaching Community. I'm very happy to be with you today. Today we're going to have Dr. Alyssa Mignotete with us, and just to give you a quick, brief description of an introduction of who she is. Alyssa Mignotete is a trainer on leadership and management. She has a PhD degree in leadership. She's also the founder of the Alyssa Management Laboratory. She consults with organizations and individuals, and she also works as an executive team and life coach. We are very happy to have Alyssa Mignotete with us today. And right before we start, I would like to make a sound check. So if everybody could please raise their hands to let me know that you can hear me and that you can see the screen. I want to see some hands. Okay, I see a couple of hands. Good. Okay, good. So I think everyone can hear us and see us. So, well, without further ado, welcome, Alyssa. Thank you for being with us today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa. Thank you, Alexis, for introducing me to the audience. And let me start. So, why this topic? Why this topic? I thought for a while what topic would be most interesting and most useful for my colleagues, my clients, and myself. I chose the topic of habits because I see how sometimes people are captured by their habits, and I also see that sometimes coaches lack capabilities and knowledge how to help their clients. For example, if you see yourself playing same scenario in life which does not fit you, you are most probably captured by the habit, and you can change it. So, what is a habit? Habit is a more or less fixed way of thinking, willing, or feeling acquired through previous repetition of a mental experience. Most habits are unconscious as we just do what we have learned long ago. We have not been born with habits. It is something we acquire in life. We learn from our parents or important ones. We learn from our own experience and start doing something in a certain way. So habits are patterns of thinking, believing, willing, feeling, and acting. Habits may be positive, empowering, as well as negative, limiting or even harming our lives. Let me show you some examples of positive and negative habits. So positive habits may be daily hygiene habits, a habit to say hello to other people and smile, a habit to see positive side of people and events, a habit to see a wider picture. There are also negative habits. For example, a habit to finish the job, the task, a habit to burst with anger, a habit to fall into victim's role, a habit to notice negative things first. There are thousands of positive and negative habits which represent our patterns of believing, thinking, feeling, and finally acting. How habits operate? As behaviors are repeated in a consistent context, there is incremental increase in the link between the context and the action. There are triggers that put in motion our habits. In coaching, we call them anchors. There may be anchors that hold old habits and anchors that support new habits and new actions. There might be negative, both as well as positive habits which have no anchors. However, most usually they have anchors. All habits perform a certain function. Even bad, negative habits have their meaning or function which is positive and called positive intention. And I will speak about this more quite soon. So when a coaching client comes, she wants something more. She wants to achieve goals, live a better, more fulfilled life. At the beginning of coaching sessions, we talk more about what is important to the client, about goals, values, work upon action plan. In the longer run, problems that client faces in his daily life come out, and we see that some problems repeat. This may be a sign that a negative habit takes place. In this session, I would like to address some examples of negative habits that are challenging, however, worth changing. These 4 examples are of really strong and negative habits. However, sometimes they exist in our lives. For example, client 1 falls into a role of victim and cries. Second client tends to escape sales action in his own business. Client does not solve his problems. Another client. He pretends they do not exist. Another client bursts with anger and does harm to others. So these are really strong and powerful negative habits. You know that in coaching session, we help the clients to move from feeling like they are always reacting to what is happening to feeling that they are the cause of what is happening, to a position of the author of one's life. In this position, we are conscious and we have choices and we make choices. My experience of work with clients show that most powerful habits come from childhood and are connected with person's self-esteem, not optimal self-esteem. If a habit comes from childhood, this means it is operating for more than 20, 30, or 40 years. There is a research of Lally et al. Showing that average time for a person to change a habit is 66 days, more than 2 months. However, changing a strong, deep habit may take up to 1 year or more. That means that both the client and especially the coach should have a large patience reservoir. I have observed coaches wondering about the clients like, do you still feel that? You have not ventilated your emotions yet? Or, you are again about that, with a disappointment. I am sure the client does as good as he can, and what he needs is support, and he is also disappointed in himself sometimes. Blaming the client not only with words, but for example with a look, or being surprised is not what client needs from us. We have to be prepared that sometimes changing a habit is a long process. So how the habit was formed? Working with the clients, I understand that these habits come from childhood experiences and usually fulfill a protection function. As I mentioned before, all habits have positive intention, and this positive intention had an important meaning in the early stages when the habit was formed. For example, a strong woman, businesswoman, a client, she falls into a role of victim and cries sometimes. The trigger in this habit is usually a strong look of an old man, and the positive intention or the function of this habit is to express pain and do not get mad from pain. Another client tends to escape sales action in his own business. This client had a very judgmental father, and he sometimes still feels fear. And the positive intention of this habit is to protect from fear of rejection, fear of failure. Another client does not solve his problems, pretend they do not exist. And this habit's positive intention is to protect from pain of understanding the real situation. Another client bursts with anger and does harm to others, and thus he protects himself from huge amounts of pain. Another client over-controls family members and colleagues, and the positive intention of this habit is to ensure everything is all right. It is protection from frustration and pain. I would like to note that these are client-specific, not universal examples. So one thing is usually clear. The client is tired of his/her habit and wants to change it. However, does not know how and quite often believes it is not possible. Of course, you know that major coaching tool is a question. And here we can ask, how long do you want to live with this habit? And the answer is usually no longer. I want to change it from now on. Such thinking like it is me, it is an inseparable part of me, it is impossible to change, I have tried many times but failed prevails. Still, the habit itself contains a belief. For example, I am not worth, or I am a weak, or something like that. But it is also protected by the beliefs itself. For example, it is impossible to change. So here the coach makes observations about the beliefs of the client and shows that it is possible to change. So how to change the habit? So first, we do need to acknowledge there is a negative habit. We make observations to the client. We ask questions. But anyway, the task is to acknowledge there is a negative, client acknowledges there is a negative habit. Certain specific pattern of behavior, usually pre-followed by emotions, beliefs, and thinking. Next step is to understand in what context this habit operates. What happens then? What are the situations? Maybe it's evenings, maybe it's mornings, maybe it's some people who evoke the habit. We investigate it, we discover that. Next step is to investigate where does it come from. And here we ask the client, so this habit, where does it come from? And the answer comes. Then we investigate the positive intention of this habit. So what is the positive intention of this habit? What is the function of this habit? This helps not to blame yourself, but understand and accept it. When the client understands the positive intention, a habit in fact makes no sense anymore. Client understands that there are more constructive ways to fulfill the function the habit did fulfill previously. Then we describe the desired result and outcome. What would be a positive habit? How I want it to be. Here we really stop for quite a time to speak about what does the client want, how he sees the desired result and outcome, how the events should come out. And then we again come back to this negative habit and identify the anchor that puts the old habit into play. It is very important to go in details while identifying the anchor that puts the old habit into play. What really happens? How this anchor acts? What is the reaction of that person? It is important because so that when he meets the anchor next time, he is ready to question it. So next step number 7 is to prepare to notice the anchor in the reality. Know the choice of reaction. How will the client notice the anchor? What will the client do then specifically? How he will make sure he controls the situation? How the client will understand he/she has a choice? Understand the choice of reaction when the old anchor is in play. What choice do I want to make then? And what will my action be? When we speak about this, we create a different anchor. That means the anchor that will evoke new, positive, constructive behavior. We really we are training together with a client to react differently to the old anchor and to evoke new behavior from the created new anchor. And then there is fast action, different action, and transition starts. Sometimes it takes long to change a habit that was operating almost the whole life of the client, and it is important to know that. There may be moments when the client will be disappointed, when the old habit will prevail. Sometimes I provide such an example for the clients. Imagine you have a dish with a white ink, white color, and you add red color to that dish. White color does not become red just in a moment. It takes time. It becomes purple, light purple, then darker purple. Finally, it is red, but it really it is not changing very soon. It needs step by step. It is changing the color from the old habit to a new habit. After 1 month, 2 months, or 1 year looking back, the client will understand she created a huge difference. The old habit may come back when the client is tired or ill. However, it is temporary and is totally normal. And new experience will bring a lot of joy, satisfaction, and strengthen self-esteem and understanding. I can. When a strong negative old habit is defeated, client understands, then everything is possible. Well, that is true. Everything is possible. Thank you.
Oh. Okay, that's the end of the contents, right, Elisa?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to know if our participants have any questions about the topic?
Yes, sure. I am waiting for you.
Okay, if anybody has any questions, there's a questions panel. You can write your questions there. You can also raise your hands, and we can open the microphone for you, so you can ask your questions directly. Let's see if anybody has any questions about the topic. I see a couple of raised hands. I see Pilar and Mariano. Pilar, do you have a question? I'm opening your microphone. If you have a question, you can speak now. She might have raised her hand when we were doing the sound check. Hello, Pilar? No. And Mariano? No, he also raised his hand a while back. Okay, let's wait a couple of minutes to see if anybody has any comments or questions or doubts about the topic. I myself found it very, very interesting. Okay, let's see. It seems Mariano has a question. Mariano, I'm opening your microphone, so if you want, you can speak up your question.
Thank you very much. Certainly a very interesting webinar. Thank you, Dr. Alicia. I have a question about anchors. Could you please give some examples of what some anchors can be?
You mean for old habits or for the new ones?
Well, I would say both. That's a good question. Maybe some experience on some anchors you saw in some customers with old habits that they wanted to change, and then some examples of new anchors that you put in place in order to change the old
Yeah.
anchors?
Okay. So usually all the anchors are something very natural in their environment. For example, a woman client who falls into a role of victim and cries, it might be a strong word from someone, some negative message, some negative sign, anything that triggers her to feel a small girl, a victim. And we created with her a new anchor, which said, well, I have a choice. And it was something just really small that she put in her personal room, so that she could understand she has a choice. As far as I remember, that was her clock, just standing near her bed, and so that she could, when seeing it, she could understand she has a choice of how to react. It was in her bedroom because it was usually in the evenings when she really felt bad and pain, and she started to cry. Another client who also, for example, bursted with anger and did harm to others. It was, we did not find any anchor that was so specific, but he understood that something is inside him, a certain reaction, and he can grasp that moment, understand that it is a moment when he will burst with anger. And so that was a small anchor, but it is important that you can catch that moment, that you can grasp it, and you can understand during that moment, I have a choice. Previously, I reacted in this way, but now I have a choice. I can react differently. And he trained himself to take just a different choice and to react differently. And it was one of his accessories that always on his hand, that always remind him, I have a choice of reacting differently. So that would be my examples.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mariana. And we also have another question from Fatima. She says her question is, which is the best way for keeping the changes for a long time?
I think it is very important when the client understands the first time, I did it differently. This first step is so important and so huge, because if I can once, I can always, whenever I want. So what is also important here is that sometimes there are setbacks. Maybe there might be situations when something is going wrong in different areas of life. Then the client feels tired, upset, maybe he or she is ill. So during these setbacks, it is possible that all the habits come back. And it is important not to be afraid and not to stop, and not to be disappointed, because you remember that beliefs are like self-fulfilling prophecies. It means that if the client believes that, oh yes, I knew I will not win, I am defeated, so of course there will be a huge setback. But it is important to understand it is temporary, and her coach really can come out and say, well, that was this time, it is okay because it happens. But you can still go on, and you will succeed. And so for ourselves and for our clients, it is important to show that for changes they need to happen, there's some time is needed, and not to be disappointed. Everything is okay. It's like my example with the ink. It takes time from ink to become a different color. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, it seems there are no more questions for now. So I'm going to thank everyone for being here. Thank you, Elisa, for this very, very interesting talk. And well, if anybody else has any more questions or doubts, you can always write me at alexis@international.coachingcommunity.com. Or and of course, we will gladly find the answers you're looking for. Thank you, Elisa.
Thank you, everyone.
And have a good day, everyone.